In pipe design, an area that I obviously enjoy, our box is the safe place. It's what we know. Everything we see, from a clay pipe to the way a stem bends to the use of horn as an accent material, we know what it should look like because of our box. Inside the box, there are very few questions. We know exactly what's going on. Sometimes though, something happens and we go outside the box. Whatever this new item is, it's able to leave a mark. It becomes an important point beyond the box borders. You're looking at a Chrysosteria pipe which combines two shapes, the acorn and the calabash. These points outside the box are not just design and lines, it can even be the entire pipe itself. This happens all the time with a wide range of items, from materials like mortar to external pipe treatments. These new points can come in a variety of forms. The big box you see is pipe design today. The two smaller ones are 100 years ago and 200 plus years ago. 200 years and before, clay pipes were the talk of the day. These design changes you see here is what debates went on about for about 400 years. Eventually, and as with everything, all these new design ideas that popped outside their box at that time, and yes, even a bent stem was a big new point outside their box back then, but their box eventually burst, and in a big way, when this new material called briar was discovered. Suddenly the freedom to create more shapes was there, free from the brittle nature of clay, and we had a new box be created, what we now know as classical shapes. A new box was created, and now new points outside that box were starting up again. There were some really great points created by many creative people thinking beyond the box. Everything that happened before that these creative people knew about was part of that new point that they were creating. And so this is what we have in our present day box. All the ideas from the past, slowly shaping our box and a new one beyond that. We have our box we know and love, plus everything happening on the outside. Some people like to carry the box, even though we know that this outside the box world is constantly there, happening through all of us, collectors and pipe makers alike. We see everything from insect-like shapes creating bright new points to shank treatments extending the view of straight grain on that side. Pattern carving in pipes to new views of the stem and having that new stem design make its way throughout the rest of the pipe. We get exposed to hundreds of ideas every year, and we get to ask ourselves which ones are going to be part of the new box and how will they fit in. There are so many different ideas and so many variations of ideas. Many ideas are difficult to understand because they are so far outside the box. It's not that bad though. The pattern we now see is pretty clear. It's not that hard to imagine what's going to happen next. It's part of the new box making process. We can at least say that. Hundreds of ideas jumping out at us all the time. Some will change how we will look at certain pipe parts. Some of these points will even scare us because they look so different from what's inside our box. We have new materials and new placements of those materials. Others still are going to use different materials to create completely new material combinations. As you can see, this part of the new box that's being formed is filled with many more questions than answers. But we know this. It's up to us what we want to do. How do we want all this stuff happening all the time to affect us? Maybe some people will even choose to completely ignore the box altogether. That's everyone's choice. Tobacco Days has chosen this a long ago, and that's what I focus on. It's happening. Ideas are breaking out of the box, and some of them do that job well. Even if it takes 5 tries to break through the box, it eventually happens. So this is where pipe design is today, with a big box around it, a big box of unknown. After that, it's all up to us.